Every April, a couple of hundred young men's dreams become reality as they get drafted by an NFL team. And for a short time, everyone is celebrating a lifelong accomplishment. The celebration is usually short-lived because almost immediately after, it is time to get to work for the upcoming NFL season. Some players fail to translate at the NFL level as it's an extremely big jump from college football to the best of the best, and it's especially tough at the quarterback position. It's rare for 2 or 3 quarterbacks in one class to be good and to lead their franchise for more than 2 or 3 years, let alone 4, but the 2020 draft class has exactly that. The Big Four, as we will refer to them in today's video, in Joe Burrow, Tua Tagovailoa, Justin Herbert, and Jalen Hurts are a generational draft class at the quarterback position. This is a quarterback draft class people will go back and look at and think, wow, I can't believe all of these guys were in the same class, and we're going to dive into each player in today's video, and without further ado, let's begin. The first quarterback taken was Joe Burrow after an unreal senior season at LSU. During his final season in 2019, he completed over 76% of his passes, threw 60 passing touchdowns to just 6 interceptions, and had an additional 5 rushing touchdowns as well. He was the clear-cut number 1 overall pick after winning a national championship and has since played a huge part in turning around the Cincinnati Bengals. He had a rough rookie year as Burrow was getting killed week in and week out, and there was a huge debate entering the 2021 draft whether or not they should draft Penei Sewell, a future Pro Bowl offensive lineman, or Burrow's former college teammate Ja'Marr Chase. They took Chase, and the rest is history. They went from a number 1 overall pick in 2020 to the number 5 overall pick in 2021 to a Super Bowl appearance and the number 31 overall pick the following year. Burrow is a very talented quarterback and is surrounded with a very good supporting cast that isn't limited to just Ja'Marr Chase. He also has 2 good receivers in T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, and since Burrow tore his ACL in 2020, he has a 16-10 record as a starter with 56 passing touchdowns to just 22 interceptions, and the Bengals won not just 1, but 3 playoff games and took them to their first Super Bowl in over 30 years. Burrow is calm under pressure, he makes plays when the team needs him most. See the Chiefs game last year when he got out of a sack that nobody would have thought he could have got out of, and they were arguably a few seconds away from winning a Super Bowl last year if it wasn't for Aaron Donald. Burrow is the embodiment of a number 1 overall pick, and especially for the Cincinnati Bengals. From being a kid born and raised in the state of Ohio, to attending Ohio State, to eventually coming back to the state of Ohio for his professional football career. They have changed the culture of the team that perpetually lost for a very long time. The furthest they went from the time Burrow was born until the time he was drafted by the Bengals was the wild card round of the playoffs. Joe has 5 career 400-yard passing games and will keep the Bengals in not just the playoff hunt, but within reach of a Super Bowl every single year. Will they or any other team win it every year? No, of course not. But with Burrow, the Bengals are always going to be in the hunt. In a league where everyone is always looking to improve at the drop of a hat, the Bengals hit on the most important position in sports. Tua Tagovailoa was selected 5th overall by the Miami Dolphins, and after some bumps in the road, Tua is a franchise quarterback and has more than proved himself in 2022. Somehow, someway, there are still non-Tua believers that think he is not the guy, but the Dolphins in 2022 have not lost a game in which Tua has started and finished. Tyreek Hill is leading the NFL in receiving yards due in large part to Tagovailoa and head coach Mike McDaniel. Every quarterback to a degree is a system quarterback, and to give the most bland example possible, Tom Brady would not be anywhere close to the player Lamar Jackson is for the Ravens because they have entirely different skill sets. I know that sounds obvious, but Mike McDaniel has unleashed Tua's full potential, and as I record this, he has 3 straight 3 passing touchdown games, and they have 30 plus points in all of these games. Tua has faced an insane amount of criticism over the course of his career, and it's not just limited to 1 year. In 2020, after Justin Herbert came in and played his ass off after Tyrod Taylor had a punctured lung, he eventually had 36 total touchdowns and won the Offensive Rookie of the Year. The Dolphins were facing an insane amount of criticism as well for picking the wrong quarterback, and Justin Herbert was the perfect example of a player who can get coached into being a good quarterback. This is what people were saying at the time. There was also the criticism of taking a player who can make all the throws that Herbert can, who is physically gifted in ways that Tua simply is not. Herbert is 6'6", 235 compared to Tua's 6'1", 215, and the arm strength when watching these two play is noticeable. But arm strength isn't everything, and Tua has proven time and time again in 2022. In a lot of ways, he is a modern-day version of Drew Brees, or a Drew Brees light with his timing, his touch, and precision passing. He has the highest touchdown percentage in the NFL at the moment with 7.3%, the second highest completion percentage in the NFL behind Geno Smith, and the third lowest interception percentage, with Tua throwing an interception on just 1.2% of his passes. Will Tua and the Dolphins, from an efficiency standpoint, have this type of success every year from now until he retires? No, probably not, but the success we've seen from him has been exciting, due in large part to all of the negativity and doubt he had to overcome entering this year. And what's crazy to me is there's still people who doubt him and do not think he's good. He's a very good quarterback. He's just not going to have the Patrick Mahomes 70-yard cross-body throws. Justin Herbert was the next pick after Tua Tagovailoa, and after the Chargers opted not to start him in Week 1 of 2020, and after Herbert came in due to Tyrod Taylor's incident with the trainer, it's been smooth sailing ever since. He has 19 career 300-yard passing games, countless highlights, and countless insane throws where you think there's maybe 2 or 3 people on the planet that could make this play. Herbert's numbers are down in 2022 compared to the seasons he had in both his rookie and second season, but there are a lot of factors that play into this, most notably injury. He hurt his ribs earlier in the season, and not only did he get hurt, which in turn we have no idea truly how healthy he is at the moment or how healthy he has been over the course of the 2022 season, but his top 2 receivers in Keenan Allen and Mike Williams have missed a ton of time as well. Naturally, a quarterback who is hurt and has his top 2 weapons also hurt is not going to be the same player statistically. Even through this, there is a chance Justin throws for 30 passing touchdowns for the 3rd consecutive season. The one thing with Herbert that he will need to fix at some point is the record. Fair or not, quarterbacks are judged by their record as a starter, and at this point in his career, Herbert has a losing record, and despite how good he's been and how many jaw-dropping throws he's made, he has a losing record as a starter at just 20-22. I do think this will get better over time, and the only thing with Herbert that annoys me with the perception of him is he is a stat padder and only puts up numbers. This is what other people say, not myself to be clear, as I would gladly take Justin Herbert as my franchise quarterback. But Justin is 24 years old and will be a starter in this league for a very long time and can control this narrative. Chargers-Chiefs are always classic games that I think everyone looks forward to because we get to see 2 of the best in the NFL go head-to-head. But when Herbert was coming out of the University of Oregon, he was in a lot of ways a boom or bust prospect. And in LA, through Herbert's hard work, combined with coaches that get the most out of him, the Chargers seamlessly went from 15 years of Phillip Rivers to a long time with Justin Herbert. There was a quarterback taken between Justin Herbert and Jalen Hurts, and it was Jordan Love. The verdict is out on him, but I do want to at least acknowledge this pick before getting to Hurts. And when Jalen was selected by the Eagles, it was a very controversial decision at the time because of the unknown future of then Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz. There was an unrelenting amount of pressure on Wentz in 2020 with a second-round quarterback in the shadows the entire season, and Jalen showed some flashes in 2021, but has become a completely different player in 2022. His completion percentage jumped from 52% to 61.3% from his rookie season to his second season, and his completion percentage jumped from 61.3 to 68.3 between his second and third season, and I don't think this is a coincidence. The offense has been tailored a lot more to Jalen's strengths, and they've been running the ball well and throwing efficiently. A lot of the time, A.J. Brown will come in motion and Jalen will hit him in the flats, and this is what you want for young quarterbacks. Get them in rhythm, boost their confidence, and let them play. Sure, the Eagles lost in Week 10 to the Commanders and nearly lost to the Colts in Week 11, but Jalen has been cooking most of the season. He's thrown just one interception in his last 6 games and has added 8 rushing touchdowns on the year, which I do expect to be double-digit touchdowns by the end of the season. Him having 10 rushing touchdowns this year would be the second consecutive season, and for him and the Eagles, given they added A.J. Brown this offseason, and on top of what they already had, the sky is the limit for them, not just in 2022, but moving forward. There's been insane draft classes before, and we always hear the comparisons with the 1983 draft class and the 2004 draft class, and I'm not saying all 4 of these guys are going to be of that status, but this quarterback class, at the moment at least, is going to be insanely fun to watch for quite some time. All of these guys have figured it out in one way or another and are here to stay. We're going to have a long time of dealing with Burrow's Bengals, Tua's Dolphins, Herbert's Chargers, and Jalen's Eagles, and it's going to be very fun to see how all of this plays out. And given 3 of these quarterbacks are in the AFC, there's also a chance at some point we see these teams battle it out for a chance to go to the big game. Now, a certain 2017 draft class quarterback and a certain 2018 draft class quarterback, or quarterbacks, would have something to say. But either way, the future of the NFL is in very hands. And that's all I have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like the video and subscribe to the channel, as it would be very much appreciated. We hit 50,000 recently, and I cannot thank you guys enough for the support. And until next time, as always, please be safe and have a great day. Love you guys.